Hi, it's Rob Moore here from Progressive Property, and I am here with Jackie. We're just about to go into the VIP meeting. Jackie's one of our VIP Property Millionaire clients, and we've just been having a chat before, and you've been having your one-to-one with Mark, and you know, I think you've got fantastic results. I know you've got really high expectations, and you want to go and take over the world. Why don't you just tell us how you're getting on, what you've done, you know, and a bit about your background. It'd be good for people to know who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, Colin's not here tonight, obviously he's in meetings from work, so he couldn't come here tonight, but we've refinanced properties that we already had, so that we've managed to raise capital, so that we could actually build a property business. Since we started the VIP, we've bought 3 properties, and we've refurbed all 3 of those.
And that's in what are we now? So it's about 4 months, is it something?
About that, yeah. Just finished all 3 of those. One of them was a really extensive refurb, so that one's sort of taken the longest. But one of them we managed to buy at 52,500, which was brilliant.
Sure. And what was the value, rough value, do you reckon?
The early indication from the surveyor post refurb is in the 80s, so that's brilliant.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I'm really pleased with that one.
Yeah.
And that's a gross yield of 12.5%.
So that'll definitely cash flow.
Definitely cash flow. And that's one that once the 6-month period is passed, we can look to remortgage and pull some money out of that, and it will still cash flow really well. Okay,
and the other 2, tell us about those.
The first one, we possibly bought that a little higher than we would if we were looking now.
Sure.
But again, it's a learning curve.
Yeah, we were just talking about entrance fees, and you know,
exactly.
A lot of people, sorry to but a lot of people just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and don't buy. And until you buy one, you don't know if you bought it well or not. And maybe at the time you thought it was a good buy, and you know, you learn to do it better, don't you?
We wouldn't probably buy that now. And at the same time, we hadn't appreciated just quite how extensive that refurb was. It's turned out to be a really big project. And in fact, what we've actually done to save a whole load of money is we've rolled our sleeves up and got stuck in there and done some of it ourselves. Which is why it's taken that little bit longer. But I've just shown the pictures to Mark now. It looks like a show home, so we're actually selling that one.
Right, okay. So what have you learned? Because this is really important. So moving forward then, I guess you must have learned a lot about refurbs and when you get tenants in and all that kind of stuff, which will obviously, you know, make your next purchases, you know, vastly, you know, even better.
Yeah, well, what we've done now is we've gone through the whole process with these 3 properties, and it's taken a little bit longer because obviously we've made some mistakes along the way and we've learnt loads. And what we now will do is just compress that and do it in a shorter period of time. For example, as soon as we get to completion day, we'll start advertising for tenants rather than waiting a little bit longer.
Yeah, sure. And what do you, I mean, obviously you and Colin are very busy. You tell everyone what you do, and you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm too busy, I've got, you know, too much on. You work a lot and you're still managing to do this. I mean, you're nearly at 1 property a month, which is, you know, awesome. So what do you do, and how are you managing it all, and what are you looking to work less hours, etc.?
Okay. We're both criminal prosecutors, lawyers. Colin is
well, that'd be good.
Colin's the head of the area, so he has a huge amount of responsibility. I'm a senior prosecutor, and I deal with serious offences, Crown Court cases. Our jobs are intense and really full on, so from the moment we get into work to the moment we leave, there's no opportunity to do anything else. So when we leave work, we're pretty drained. Which means we have to use our time effectively and sensibly. So when we use an hour in the evenings to make phone calls or to go and visit a property, we have to use that hour properly.
Of course,
we haven't got time to sort of mess about, and in some ways that's made us concentrate our time more.
And roughly how many hours a week, if you had to sort of gauge it, are you spending on property?
Quite a few actually. We're using a lot of time at the weekends, and at least 3 evenings a week we're doing something.
So would you say 10, 15? Give us a gauge.
Just recently, where we've actually been doing some of the work on the refurb ourselves, we've been working sort of the whole weekend. But obviously that's because we wanted to get that one finished and out of the way. For the future, we will be acting more as business owners rather than getting stuck in, and I think we'll probably be about 10 hours a week. Maybe less.
Would you say, based on the fact that you're pretty busy, that most people can afford 10 hours a week out of their life to, you know, to make a difference?
If they want to do it, and if they want to build a property business, they can easily find 10 hours a week because, you know, you sit in front of the TV or, you know, you waste time doing stuff. A lot of people will be on the internet, but they're not actually using it productively. So it's not actually that much. I mean, if you're driving along, you know, and you can just sort of chat to people or whatever and make some phone calls when you're sitting waiting for the tram or whatever, so you can use your time effectively.
Yeah. Okay. So if you're both, which you are, have very good jobs and you're very well paid, what is it that you're doing this for? What are you looking to achieve? Why are you investing in property? Why are you on the VIP club?
Okay, two things from my point of view. First of all, although I'm a lawyer, I'm not that well paid. We actually are civil servants technically, because we work for the Crown Prosecution Service, so although it's a very good job and incredibly interesting, it's not in itself enough for me, for the lifestyle that I'm looking for, and also for the freedom that I'm looking for. So
the yachts, the Ferraris, the Mulberries,
the
and all
Villa
that.
Abroad, the whole business, But also I'm looking to build a business which is going to be additional to and potentially replace. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Sure, but Colin does well, doesn't he? He
very well,
does very well.
Yeah.
But he's kind of, I've seen him come out of his shell a bit, because he was quite sceptical at first, wasn't he? You kind of had to drag him along. But, you know, he seems to have really sort of grown into it and even quite enjoying it now.
He loves it. I mean, he's always loved property anyway, but he's really getting into the business side of it, And we've made some really good contacts through this group as well. I'm looking to do some JV work as well, so it's really going well.
Well, when everyone watches this, I bet you get a ton of emails, because obviously when we did Jill's email and the other videos, everyone swamps JV opportunities and stuff, so who knows? So what's your plan then? What's your goal for the rest of the duration of the VIP and, you know, for your future?
Okay, well, we're going to be pulling some capital out of 2 of these properties and then moving on and buying some more. We're about to go direct to vendor to start doing some option work. Obviously we're building our contacts, as every day we're building our contact base, so that we can look to do some JV work, potentially looking at a couple of HMOs as well. So really just growing the business. Sure.
And one last question. What would you say to someone watching this who, you know, sitting on the fence, got excuses holding them back, you know, too busy, not enough money, not a good job, too good a job, whatever their excuses are, you know, bit scared, what would you say to someone, you know, to help them realise that, you know, whatever you want to do, you can actually do?
I would say if they really want to build a property business, then it is definitely possible. I mean, Colin and I have proved that it's possible with extremely busy full-time jobs. I know some people have been able to put more time in because perhaps they don't have those same pressures, but even with full-time work, you can build a property business. It's an excellent way to actually either replace your income or build additional income for the future. Sure.
Okay, and I know Colin doesn't need it because he's got all of his fancy motors, but are you going to win the Merc?
Of course I am.
That's what I like to hear. Okay, so Jackie, I want to thank you very much for sharing the video, and keep your eye out for more, because hopefully I'll be speaking to a lot more of our VIP clients and sharing their stories with you.